We didn't have enough fun at the Boss Hog 150, so we wanted to do it again. It's Pro Stock 100 Day. All right, first up, we got Nick Reno in the 77 Pro Stock. And Nick, correct me if I'm mistaken, but is this the first time out in the Pro Stock this season?
It is. Actually, first time we raced it since Boss Hog of last year. We pretty well destroyed it. So we attempted the Boss Hog this year, but we had brake issues, so we didn't actually get to go out for the heat races. So it's the first time out, and we're working the bugs out still, but it feels pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was kind of heartache for you, having intentions to run the Boss Hog.
Yeah, we spent a bunch of money on tires and didn't get to use them, so luckily they threw this race together that we could use them tires, and works out.
Yeah, there you go. So how you feeling in practice?
Comfortable. It's not the fastest one, but it's not the slowest, so I think we can ride for a while and get what we can get.
Now going into the modifieds, what do we got? One more week left and you and Ryan are tied?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the last one got rained out, so it's going to be a barn burner right down to the end, tied for points. And unfortunately, if we end up in a tie, I think he gets the tiebreaker. So we gotta beat him out, right?
All right, Nick. Good luck today.
Thank you.
All right, Frankie Moulton is bumping his number 15 late model up into the Pro Stock class. Frankie, tell me about that happening.
We rained out last week, so we just wanted to get out here and race and get some more laps on the car before winter.
Is the plan to run Pro Stock maybe next year?
I mean, we think about it. It's actually went better today than I thought it would, but still plan on being late model, I guess.
So would this be your first Pro Stock race to your career, or tell me about your background in that?
I raced some Pro Stock in 2012 at Beach Ridge just a few times, and a little bit of past outlaw stuff way back, but yeah, first one in a while.
All right, so what, you got 4 brand new tires just for this race?
Yep, I think everybody has 4 today, and we were fastest in the last practice, which was surprising to me, but we'll see how it goes. I just want to bring it back home in one piece.
We know how that's gotten you in the past, right? Being fast right off the get-go.
Yeah, but hopefully the wide tires handle my driving style a little better.
Exactly. That might be, a little motivation of why you might want to move up. Maybe these super late model tires will last a little bit longer than, driving the wheels right off of it like in the late model happens.
Yeah, and when we wrecked last week, I bent a spindle, so I called Dean Clattenburg, and we pretty much have a whole new front suspension, new spindles, upper A-frames, so I think that could have helped too, but we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Good luck, Frank.
Thank you.
We got the 99 back of Charlie Buxton. Now, Charlie, after the Boss Hog 150, I thought it'd be quite a while before we saw you back. So what made you want to come back to Wiscasset?
Well, I've always liked racing here. I've always had a good feel for the track. We grew up racing Legends here every week, so I've always liked it, and we went really good. I felt really good about the car a couple weeks ago, and then we just were in the wrong spot at the wrong time. So it really wasn't anything more than just cosmetic stuff, luckily. So put it all back together and figured we'd give it another go this weekend.
Now, could it also have been in part that maybe you had some tires? Like, maybe if you finished the Boss Hog 150, you think you would have been back for this race?
I still potentially think we probably would have come back, especially where it got moved to a 100-lapper and more of an invitational, we probably would have decided to come back. Yeah, the tires did play into effect. We had 2 stickers that we didn't use that were spare, so we only really had to buy 2 today. So that was a big factor in it. But I like coming here. I have a blast coming here. You guys all do a great job. So.
What you been doing for racing in between now and the Boss Hog? Have you been anywhere else?
Not in between here and the Boss Hog. We've only ran a handful of races this year. I spot for Kate most of the time at Oxford every week, so that takes up a lot of the time. We just, and the amount of money that it costs to do this nowadays, we just kind of pick and choose, have fun with it, and do a handful every year, and we're content with that.
All right, Charlie Buxton, we certainly hope you have better luck tonight. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have the 9 of JT Thurlow in the house. His first pro stock or first ever appearance at Wiscasset, right, JT?
First ever appearance here at Wiscasset. Very happy to be here. Car has good speed. We came here yesterday to test. I think we have a good shot at finishing top 10, I would say. Would be happy with that for the end of the day. Starting third in the first heat. So just kind of be patient and buy our time.
What made you want to come out to this race?
When I came to the Boss Hog, Kevin Douglas, he's been hounding me for the last couple of years to get here. And I told him, I'm like, we just have other commitments elsewhere. And finally this year we said, you know what, we're gonna give this place a shot. And I think this could become more of us being here.
Hey, we would certainly love to see that. What else you been doing for racing this season?
So we've been around in Oxford. Obviously it's the 250, so you want to try to make that. But we've run a couple past races. I think we've run 6 races so far this year, and this will be, I think, our 7th race for the year.
All right, JT, it's a pleasure to have you here. Good luck today.
Thank you.
All right, we got the 18 of Kevin Douglas. Now, Kevin, explain to me a little bit about what they talked about in the drivers' meeting and the points situation here, where this was open invitational, it was supposed to be a points race, and yada, yada, yada. Tell me about that.
Yeah, basically what they're doing is the highest Wiscasset car would get first place points. So if, the highest Wiscasset car is third place and the next one's 7th, then third would get first place points and 7th would get second place points. Just so it takes the outsiders out of the points deal, so we don't have to worry about other cars in between, really.
So we got tonight, and then we do have one more points race, a regular 40-lapper for you guys in a couple weeks. And you and Hinckley are tied for second. You think Josh has this one pretty comfortably or something?
Yeah, I mean, I had one DNF, which it's too much to make up, especially with the rainouts we've had and lost points races and stuff. So, something catastrophic would have to happen. I'm not really looking at that. So, it is what it is. And, Nick and I will battle it out for second, and, we'll see where it ends up at the end of the year.
All right, have fun out there today, Kevin.
All right, thank you.
Brian Lancaster in the 81 is back, and I think last, Boss Hog this year was your first pro stock race here. And you liked it so much, you wanted to come back?
Yeah, it was my first pro stock race at Wiscasset. I done a few Granite State stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to see, toe got knocked out, wanted to see how far I was off or could gain again.
Oh, tell me about your Boss Hog 150 experience.
I was good. I just, me and Ryan got into each other a little bit and knocked my toe way off, and it was junk after that. I was just trying to hang on to complete laps and see what I could learn. But
so how you feeling today?
All right. We're not super fast, but it's back drivable again, and just need a couple tenths to really be up amongst most of them.
Well, Brian, glad to have you here. We hope to see you here more often, maybe next season.
A little bit. I have a hard time getting help. So big races, it's easier to get people here. So It's kind of what I've been doing all year.
A few of your friends and family get a little bit more excited for the big races rather than just a regular race?
Yes. Yep. They find a little bit more excitement into it, and it's, more of a thing to be here.
I can hear that. All right, good luck today, Brian.
Thank you.
Charlie Colby, glad to have you back in this 100-lapper. You decided to sit out for the Boss Hog, right? So what made you want to come back for this one?
Well, we did get it better, a little bit better last week. She was a little loose, but Chuck put some different shocks on it, helped it out a lot last week, so we thought we'd come today and see what we can do. Hopefully we can get her in there somewhere in the top 5, I hope.
You like these big races, or you like the 40-lappers?
No, I'd like the 100s better than I do all of them, really. I think they should have a lot more 100s. I think it'd be interesting.
100s is the sweet spot?
Yeah, I think 100s, 75s, or 100. I used to go down beach race, do a lot of 50s and 100s, and that's what I liked.
All right, so in practice, how's she feeling?
She's not bad. She's just as good as a lot of them, so I hope she'll be there tonight when we try in the heat. We'll find out.
Okay, Charlie, have fun today. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Jet Decker. Looks like you got just you and your dad here today? You got some other helpers?
My grandfather's around here somewhere, probably looking at all the vintage cars. Yeah.
So you guys you and your dad are the the big time decision makers on the car? Pretty minimal crew?
Yeah, pretty small. We came in to change Force tires during practice, and my dad and grandfather had to sling tires, and my grandfather told me that no more tire changes from now on. So, yeah, small crew, but hopefully we can get it done today.
Sometimes that's better. You don't want to have too many cooks in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, I do have a lot of good guys though, but it's a lot less hectic when it's just us. It makes it easier to make decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah, now so you keep swapping back and forth between the late model and the Pro Stock. What do you like better, and what do you think you're going to do next year?
So I really don't know yet. So this car went really good a couple weeks ago, and I really liked it then. Didn't really go that good in the Boss Hog. Both car has its advantages, but I think the beginning of the season next year we're going to focus on the late model until the Coastal, and then we're going to switch back to this and focus for the Boss Hog again. Just those two big races pretty much.
There you go. That's a good strategy. Have fun today, Jet, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Brett Osmond. He's back in the Pro Stock. We won't talk too much about the Boss Hog. Are you looking for a happier night tonight, Brett?
Yeah, just hopefully keep it clean, finish. That's the goal. First round of practice, I had a problem with the carburetor, and I wasn't able to finish it. Then second round went out in old tires. Wasn't bad. Found some speed in the last round, so see what we can do with it.
Now, what's the situation with this car? Is it Kevin Morse that owns it?
Yeah, Kevin Morse and Kim Brackett own this car, and I'm just racing it for them for now. I'm not sure about next year. We'll see.
You guys trying to work out something, or does Kevin want to hold on to it?
I think we're trying to work something out right now.
There you go. All right, Brett. Good luck today.
Thank you.
If you are a Subaru enthusiast and you haven't shopped Norm's Used Cars in Wiscasset, you are missing out. Norm's Used Cars specializes in previously enjoyed late-model, low-mileage Subarus, all hand-picked and meticulously gone over to be like new to you. And with over 100 Subarus on the lot starting at $49.95, they have a great selection too. Experience the difference at Norm's Used Cars.
That's not the norm. That's Norm's Used Cars.
If you've been injured in an accident, contact the law offices of Joe Bornstein today. Talk to us confidentially and free. Find out why we are Maine's most recognized personal injury law firm. Over 25,000 victories for Maine families and over $500 million collected for injured Mainers. Get the help you need and the justice you deserve. Dial 207-CALL-JOE. There's never a fee unless you win. Call Joe today and get the Bornstein advantage.
We are your voice. We are your helping hand. We are the Hometown Foundation. We speak up for animals who have been neglected. We support those who keep communities safe. We shatter stereotypes for the disabled. We instill hope in those battling life-threatening illness. We honor and remember our veterans. The Hometown Foundation. Community-focused. Community-driven. Call or go online to see how you can be the help your community's waiting for.
Time to consider your future begins today. Entry-level trade positions now starting at $23.50 an hour and up to $28.19 an hour with experience. Same incredible benefits and career growth opportunities from high school graduation to an exciting career change. This is your time.
Join the legacy.
As we like to say, let's go to the top shelf already here. Bring out a first of 3 heat races today for the Pro Stock 100. 27 cars in the paddock. Straight heads up qualifying today. All 27 cars will go to the main event, but this is all racing for starting position. At the point in the number 40, the naughty 40 out of Gorham, that is Dan McCaig Jr. To his outside, Jamie Wright in the number 84. Next comes a newcomer to Wiscasset, JT Thurlow in the number 9. To his outside is your Wiscasset Pro Stock point leader, Josh St. Clair. Two-time champ Nick Hinckley next row back. To his outside, the 77 of Nick Reno. Miller Buzzell in the 18 ME, Brett Osmond in the 29, and Andy Gilbert in the number 17 fills out the field here for heat number 1. As we said, first of 3 heats. This will be a 15-lap heat race. Open draw for everybody, but there are points on the table for the Wiscasset regulars. Nick explained it a little bit. We'll revisit that a little bit later on in the show today. But let's get ready to go racing.
First of 3 heats. Din McKeag Jr. and Jamie Wright going to bring him to the green. Dan McKeag Jr. in the 40. He will clear out of turn 2. Jamie Wright sits second, gets to the bottom, and here comes Josh St. Clair on the top side in the 14. St. Clair moving up in a hurry. He clears right and now challenges Dan McKeag Jr. already for the top spot. Nick Reno progressing up to 4th now in the 77. Nick Hinckley is going to follow in the 15. A little bit of bobble into turn 1 for Nick Hinckley. He goes into this race tied with Kevin Douglas for 2nd in the weekly point standings. Josh St. Clair takes command. Dan McKeag Jr. in 2nd. Here comes Nick Reno around the high side of Jamie Wright for 3rd place, but Jamie Wright still not giving up without a fight. Nick Hinckley trying to follow Reno on the top side. Reno is desperately trying to clear, and Jamie Wright is holding a nose inside of there. As you can see, coming out of 2 that time, Reno got a little sideways as he was trying to clear a little bit too soon. He is feeling Jamie Wright down there. Maybe not relying completely on his spotter, maybe relying on that left rear quarter panel. Jamie Wright kept the nose in there and now is able to get a 2nd wind, and he's coming back strong to try to reclaim 3rd. Hinckley to the bottom now. Hinckley to the bottom to follow Jamie Wright, and he'll bring it up alongside wheel to wheel with Nick Reno. That's the battle for 4th and 5th. We're halfway through qualifier number 1. Josh St. Clair has a healthy lead in the point standings for the 2023 championship. With tonight's race and 1 more to go for the season, St. Clair leads heat number 1. Brett Osmond in the 29 drops out of this qualifier early. We're 10 laps in, 5 laps to go for Josh St. Clair. Dan McKeag Jr. quite comfortably has 2nd, and now the battle for 3rd rages on. Jamie Wright trying to hold off Nick Reno, Nick Hinckley that is, in the 15. Nick Reno is right behind him in the 77. And they're a little bit side by side, just outside the top 5 now. JT Thurlow and Andy Gilbert. Gilbert races with us on a weekly basis. JT Thurlow, his very first time racing at Wiscasset Speedway. Happy to have him in the number 9 car. Andy Gilbert in the 17 is going to take that spot away. We've got 2 laps left for Josh St. Clair. Once again, only 2 more points races for the Pro Stock season. And Nick Hinckley, currently sitting 4th on the track, is tied with Kevin Douglas for 2nd in the point standings. Points race tonight, even though it's an extra distance 100-lapper, our weekly racers will get points for tonight, depending on where they finish. We're going to take out the newcomers and give the points to the weekly racers.
Lining up at the point in the number 56 out of Durham is Evan Beaulieu. Then comes Frankie Moulton in the number 15. The number 81, Brian Lancaster. The number 47, driven by Kelly Moore out of Scarborough. Then comes the 09X. That is Jeremy Davis out of Tamworth, New Hampshire. Then in the number 18 is your reigning Pro Stock champion, Kevin Douglas out of Sydney. The 11, Matty out of Farmingdale. The 09, Silas Ripley making his Wiscasset Pro Stock debut. And Will Collins in car number 25 will fill out the field for heat number 2. Another 15 laps will set another third of the field for our main event today. Lights off on the Norms Used Cars Ford Mustang pace car. We turn our attention to flagman Nate Sennett as we get ready to go with heat number 2.
What a start by Evan Beaulieu, really catching Frankie Moulton off guard on that one. Frankie Moulton, a little bobble out of turn 2, and Lancaster tries to capitalize in the 81 down low. Lancaster can't quite do it yet. Frankie Moulton fighting back strong on the high side. He's going to put the 15 back up into second, and Kelly Moore is going to try to follow in the 47 on the top side. Oh, almost 3 wide action there. Jeremy Davis wants to get going, but he is boxed in. He almost pushed that 3 wide situation, but wisely backed out going into turn 1. Kelly Moore, we've got a spinner. Matty Beers goes around. We got a yellow quickly coming out for Matty Beers, and he's back underway. No need for a tow truck, but we'll bunch him back up with 3 laps in the books. We're ready to turn him loose once again, and we've still got the same front row. Let's see if Moulton can hang on with Evan better this time. Once again, Beaulieu just about clears Frank Moulton, but look at that. Moulton fighting back strong out of turn 2. Oh, we are wheel to wheel on the front row now. We've got another spin. Lancaster goes around, and he might have had some help from Jeremy Davis. This time, the green flag stays out, and they keep on rolling. What a good run by Frank Moulton, maintaining on the high side of Evan Beaulieu. We might want to watch those two back in the pack. Oh, Lancaster wisely lets Davis go on by. There might be a little bit of vengeance back there. But back to the front we go. Evan Beaulieu and Frankie Moulton not giving an inch with Kelly Moore hot on their heels. And then it's Kevin Douglas and Silas Ripley filling out the top 5. Frankie Moulton has his best run out of 2 that time. He's got a fender advantage on Beaulieu. We're past halfway, 7 laps to go. Would you look at that? Moulton keeps on progressing inch by inch, and he is just about clear of Evan Beaulieu. Matty Beers trying to make a comeback after that early spin. He's climbed back up to 6th now. We got close quarters going into turn 1. Frank Moulton tries to come down over the nose of Evan Beaulieu, and Beaulieu says, "Nuh-uh, I'm not letting you win that easy." Beaulieu reclaims the lead. Kelly Moore capitalizes and moves up to 2nd, and Kevin Douglas, the reigning Pro Stock champion as well, tries to get it into the top 3. Now it is all Evan Beaulieu as they duke it out behind him. Douglas gets Kelly Moore to move up off the bottom, and he might be putting the 18 up to 2nd. 1 to go. And here comes young Silas Ripley. Silas Ripley gets by Moulton for 4th place. We're coming to the checkered flag in qualifier number 2. It's Evan Beaulieu. What a race. Here we go, the 3rd and final qualifier. It's Dave Getchell and Charlie Buxton bringing them to the green flag this time. And usually we see the inside move, but this, oh, we got one. Jeremy Wharf very, very hard into the wall at the top of turn 2. Red flag comes out. I think there was contact with the car that was on the inside of him, but I'm not sure who it was.
Jeremy, the window net is down, and you see him starting to climb up out of the car. That's a good sign. Little assistance from our Sean Dickinson. And our safety crew quickly on the scene.
Third and final qualifier. Everybody makes the show for the Pro Stock 100 this evening. Charlie Colby in the 72 unable to maintain there with the top 3. Getchell looked like he spun his tires on the start. He lost a little traction on Charlie Buxton, who now gets a couple car lengths on them in a hurry. And we got quite the scramble going into 1. We are 3 wide. Getchell getting shuffled out of the mix. Getchell goes to the back in a hurry as they split him 3 wide, and everybody makes it out alive. Jet Decker up to second. Daniel Harding now trying to fend off the charge from Logan Melcher. And then Colby rounds out the top 5. Melcher's gonna open up the inside and get underneath Harding and take the spot away. The 41 now up into the top 3. And we've also got the 4 of Connor Wenners out there. He's putting a charge on Charlie Colby for that top 5 spot. 5 laps in, 10 to go for Charlie Buxton. Jet Decker in the 0-1 is certainly closing in. Little by little, looks like about a 1/10 of a second quicker than Buxton. Logan Melcher slightly quicker than them as well. We might have a 3-car battle for the top spot here in a moment. Jet Decker able to close the gap to less than a car length now going into 3, and we're halfway. Now you can see the hood is scrunched up a little bit on the 0-1 ride due to a little bumper tag involving in that last red flag. And you gotta wonder if that's helping the downforce on Jet Decker, or is it hurting him and maybe he's got even more speed. Either way, he's doing a pretty good job reeling in Buxton, as well as Melcher is now in the mix. I told you we'd have a 3-car battle for the top spot in a moment, and here it is. 4.5 laps to go, and Melcher's going to the top side. Melcher looked like he had a little bit of hood flap action going on there, maybe lost a hood pin or 2. It's not hurting him any. He brings it up alongside wheel to wheel with Jet Decker. Logan Melcher up into that traction compound groove, and he is just about clear for second place, coming to 2 laps to go. Melcher puts it up tight on the back bumper of the 99. Just for 1 corner, he gets to the bottom, and then quickly back to the top he goes for the white flag. We've got a barn burner here to cap off the qualifying for the Pro Stock 100. Down the back chute, they are dead even coming to the checkered flag. Charlie Buxton and Logan Melcher. And we've got some racing on the outside, don't we, folks? How'd you like that show?
100 laps and a double purse on the table. Pace car comes in. St. Clair and Bolio ready to go. Green flag is out.
We have 34 locations in Maine.
Hammer down through turn 1 and 2. Josh St. Clair brings him onto the back stretch with the lead. Bolio settles into second. Melcher and McCaig battle it out for third. Then comes the number 18 of Kevin Douglas holding fifth. McCaig makes that outside lane work and pulls up into third and says we might as well stay there. He looks to the outside of Bolio. Side by side back there for the 6th position has the 84 of Jamie Wright and the 99 of Charlie Buxton. Back behind them, the 01 of Jet Decker. Dan McCaig Jr. making that outside lane work, drives around Evan Bolio and into second. They were a little nervous about making that outside lane work, but the Naughty 40 is fast in the early going. Bolio settles it into third. Melcher stays there in fourth, and Douglas fifth. A lot of side-by-side racing back through the field from 6th position back. Charlie Buxton looking for a place to get down in line, but right now the freight train pulls him back another spot. He can't get down in front of Kelly Moore, so the 99 still stuck on the outside. Everybody getting settled into a good green flag groove right now. Got to make sure you have tires under you for the full 100 laps. Charlie Buxton, the only car on the outside. He's running back there on the outside of Silas Ripley. That's for 10th position. Buxton drops back outside the top 10 now, but finally able to get it in line in front of Nick Reno in the 77. That traction compound on the outside is there for the taking, but right now the guy's content to cover that low side as the freight train comes onto the front stretch. Andy Gilbert using the high side up on the outside of Frank Moulton in the 15 and Daniel Harding in the 38. Dan McCaig, the only driver with a lap under 15 seconds. Now Kevin Douglas jumps out of line in the number 18 to test the waters. Douglas making some headway on the high side. You got to try it now if you want to trust it later in the race. And the 18 looking really fast on the high side. Kevin Douglas moves into third now, quickly around McCaig into second. Trouble into turn number 1. Miller Buzzell goes around. Nearly collected a couple drivers. St. Clair still at the point. He's got a new dance partner on the outside, the 40 of Dan McCaig Jr. Here we go. McCaig set out wide to see if he could get a good run, and it looks like it worked. But St. Clair rebounds nicely on the inside to even it up out of turn 4. 3 wide onto the front stretch. Silas Ripley got sideways. Thurlow gets turned around. A little bit of a quick trigger on the caution, but always want to be safe, but they're not putting anybody to the back as they were all able to drive away. So Silas Ripley catches a big break on that one in the 09, as does Nick Reno was kind of in that pack as well. It made a little contact, so we'll get back at it with 14 complete. Same pair, but they've switched sides. We're back underway. Josh St. Clair overpowers McCaig and drives around him back into the lead. Pulls away a little bit out of 4. Trouble into turn number 1.
Well, that's what you call the big one.
And Matty Beers is down in the culvert. Drainage ditch right there out of turn 2. Pace car heads in. Green flag comes out. We're back underway. Again, St. Clair, and this time Beaulieu back on the outside. Jamie Wright in the 3rd spot. Jet Decker 4th. Kelly Moore starting to come into the picture along with the 77 of Nick Reno. Couple cars trying to make the outside work. Decker's out there. Gilbert and Moulton are all out there. Trouble on the backstretch as the 40 of McCaig, the 88 of Getchell, a couple other cars scatter. Logan Melcher and the 18 of Miller Buzzle, the 18 of Douglas. Dan McCaig ready to join the field at the tail end at the backstretch wall. And here we go. Still no sign of Kevin Douglas. There he is. Back underway. St. Clair and Beaulieu side by side out of turn 4. Jamie Wright and Jet Decker trading some paint on the front stretch. Kelly Moore waiting there in the 4th, 5th position. Gilbert and Moulton teaming up to try to make that outside lane work on the outside of Nick Reno in the 77. JT Thurlow lifting the tail end of the 38 off the ground, but Daniel Harding holds on to it as they go through 3 and 4 now. Red flag as we have a heavy hit from Nick Hinckley up there in turn 1. He ended up hitting the brakes and ended up hopping over the front end of the 07 of Nick Calvert, and it launched him over there into the turn 1 wall. Mike Carlton quickly over there to check on our driver. You see the 15 get airborne. There he is hopping up out of the car. Always a good sign, able to get out on their own, but no doubt that took the wind out of Nick. There you see the damage on the number 15. It's St. Clair and Beaulieu. Jamie Wright in the 3rd spot as we get ready to go. Jet Decker outside in 4th. Back underway. Everybody locked up tight. Beaulieu looks like Beaulieu had him by a nose at the line, but yeah, there we go. 56 at the top of the score sheet, but it was very close at the line. St. Clair retakes it. Beaulieu settles down into second. Jamie Wright still in third. Decker fourth. Decker gets into the back end of the 84. Nick Reno had fifth, but gives it over to Frank Moulton in the number 15. Moulton started pretty deep in the field. He is into the top 5 now. Connor Winters heads back down pit road in the number 4 car as their struggles continue. The rookie Andy Gilbert still doing a good job in the 17. He runs in 6th as he gets out around the 77 of Nick Reno. Brings it right out under the flag stand. That high line working well for the young man in the 17. Silas Ripley will try it too on the outside. First car on the outside right now is at 29 of Brett Osmond. Osmond started back in the 23rd position. Actually in 25th. And he's marching toward the front. Things packing up around that 77 of Nick Reno. He's got Buxton right on his tail. He's got the 81 of Lancaster on his outside. Reno having a lot of trouble through the center of the turn. Charlie Buxton kind of boxed in that number 99. Big pack of cars from the 81 back. Charlie Buxton still waiting for his turn to get by that 77, but unwilling to try the outside, and he's paying for it as he's dropping back quickly. Josh St. Clair trying to put an exclamation point on this 2023 season. Now Buxton finally able to get on the outside of Reno, but he lost about 6-7 positions in the process. Dan McCaig Jr. starting to come back to life. Kevin Douglas as well. Don't count them out. They've raced their way halfway back up through the field. Now McCaig working on the outside of Brian Lancaster in the 81. Things starting to settle down a bit here for the pro stocks after a handful of cautions in the early going. They're lining up on the outside of Brian Lancaster in the 81. McCaig's able to get around him. Now Douglas will line up for his try. Kelly Moore as well. Up ahead of them, it's spread out. Single file. As Josh St. Clair now enjoys a half straightaway lead over Evan Beaulieu. Jamie Wright a half straightaway back behind him. Jet Decker holding fourth. Frank Moulton is now into fifth. Trouble into turn number 3. Daniel Harding puts it up against the wall.
We're going green this time. Evan Bollier really putting up a great fight. I believe this would be the best laps that we have seen him turn at Wiscasset Speedway. Evan Bollier in the 56 is really showing some might and making it rather difficult for Josh St. Clair to run the pace that he wants. Both those two cars are definitely able to pull away from Jamie Wright and keep it a two-car comfortable battle. And Jamie Wright has his hands full of Jet Decker, who looks to be trying to force the situation to get to that preferred inside line. Once again, he's going to do it. Jamie Wright slips up once, and Jet Decker was right there ready to pounce. But it's not going to be a real easy pass. They're going side by side. One whole lap around, and they're still door to door with Jet Decker and Jamie Wright. And then another two-car battle with Frankie Moulton and Andy Gilbert right behind them. Jet Decker is going to clear, and we've got a new third-place car. Jamie Wright files in line in single file, and then Frank Moulton and Andy Gilbert continue to battle. Here comes young Silas Ripley in the 09. His first Pro Stock race ever in the 09, and if Andy Gilbert can't get to the bottom, Silas Ripley's going to be right there to capitalize. Here he goes. Frankie Moulton clears Gilbert and leaves him out to dry in the second line. Silas Ripley is going to try to capitalize off of that one, and we are halfway. Josh St. Clair picked up a $1,000 bonus in the Boss Hog 150 leading the halfway marker, but it's a totally different story to lead halfway and win the race. So, he leads halfway of this one. Can he hang on for the remaining 50 laps in this Pro Stock 100 Open Invitational? We're past halfway. St. Clair, Bollier, Jet Decker, your top three. Jamie Wright still keeping Decker within sight. Frankie Moulton, again, his first Pro Stock race, bumping up his late model car into a Pro Stock. That is the same car that he runs as a late model on a weekly basis. And it's just a matter of changing the shocks and the wheels and tires. And Frankie Moulton definitely has a competitive Pro Stock. Now, I thought it would be a little bit of an easier pass for Silas Ripley to get by Andy Gilbert, but that is not the case. Gilbert really putting up a good fight. And that is the battle for 6th and 7th. Gilbert in the 17. Rookie Silas Ripley in the 09. You can see he's got that rookie stripe across the rear bumper, the yellow rookie stripe across the 09 rear bumper. That is 14-year-old Silas Ripley, only 14 years old. And Gilbert is just about clear to hold down that 6th position and keep Silas Ripley at bay in 7th. Right behind them is Kelly Moore and Kevin Douglas. Douglas looks to the high side. He's the first car in line now in the second groove, as they're all single file for the top 7 spots. Douglas is making some progress on the outside of Kelly Moore. That is for 8th. He's got a slight advantage going into 3. And then they are also double file behind him with JT Thurlow and Dan McKeag Jr. slamming doors coming out of turn 4. McKeag Jr. is still, he's not gonna let that phase him. We might have a little bit more door slamming coming out of 4 this time as well. Great battle as Kevin Douglas clears Kelly Moore, and he'll set his sights on Silas Ripley now. Kevin Douglas up to 8th. Still side by side for 9th and 10th. JT Thurlow and Den McKeag Jr. And we got a spin in turn 3. That is Matty Beers. He goes into the grass in the infield and keeps it rolling. Green flag is still out. No caution for Matty Beers. As they put him one lap down, Josh St. Clair and Evan Beaulieu get around Matty Beers to put him down one lap. A 3-car battle still as they are bumper to bumper, nose to tail for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Jet Decker, Jamie Wright, and Frankie Moulton. Meanwhile, Kevin Douglas got around Silas Ripley. Kevin Douglas up to 7th, setting his sights on 6th place Andy Gilbert. Silas Ripley might have his hands full here in a moment. Kelly Moore and JT Thurlow closing in. Trouble for Will Collins. He's gonna head down pit road. Kevin Douglas up tight on Andy Gilbert. He's gonna look to the high side now, down the back chute, putting the 18 to the high side of the 17. Oh, we got sparks flying off of Douglas. Wow. Looks like the side skirt rubbed the ground out of turn 4 a bit. Thought it looked a little more serious than that, but we keep him going. Douglas not letting it phase him. He's gonna clear Andy Gilbert for the 6th position. Kevin Douglas is picking him off one at a time. He's been picking him off slowly but surely as they've been spread out in front of him. But right up ahead, there is 3 cars that he can get all at once if he can make the high side work in good fashion. Jamie Wright working on Jet Decker. We've got 30 laps to go. 30 laps left in the Pro Stock 100. And Jet Decker has his hands full as Jamie Wright is trying to get that bottom line opened up. Kevin Douglas is coming on strong. He's going around the outside of Frank Moulton to crack the top 5. And he's wasting no time already with a nose to the high side of Jamie Wright. Those two are messing around, Jet Decker and Jamie Wright. Nobody wants to go to the top, but Kevin Douglas will do it. Douglas is going to get by Wright in quick fashion, up to 4th, and maybe 3rd already. To the high side of Jet Decker he goes. Here comes the reigning Pro Stock champion at Wiscasset Speedway, Kevin Douglas, now up to 3rd. What a substantial lead by Josh St. Clair and Evan Beaulieu. The class of the field so far. Almost half a track that Evan Beaulieu has over Kevin Douglas. 25 laps to go. Kevin Douglas is going to have his work cut out for him if he wants a chance at the top 2. He gets by Jet Decker and Jamie Wright clean and clear and leave them to go back at it as they are still tail to nose for 4th and 5th with Decker and Wright. Now Frankie Moulton has some company in the 15. JT Thurlow in the 9 car, his first ever appearance at Wiscasset Speedway. He's going to the top side of Frank Moulton. JT Thurlow in the 9, up to 6th position. Gets around Frankie Moulton, clean and clear on the high side. Moulton back to 7th, Andy Gilbert 8th, Kelly Moore 9th, and Dan McKeag Jr. makes up your top 10. Here comes Jamie Wright. He's had enough. He says it's time to go in the final 20 laps, and Wright is looking to the high side of Jet Decker. He's been uptight on the rear bumper of Jet Decker for the last 20 or 30 laps. waiting for Decker to slip up. But Decker has been on the money, staying tight down on the inside apron. So Jamie Wright is taking a peek to the top now. And I think it probably helps that JT Thurlow is coming in hot. JT Thurlow reeling them in. And Jamie Wright says it's time to go. So that JT Thurlow doesn't get around both of them at the same time. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. A yellow is out. Kelly Moore goes around on the backside. Oh, yeah, we're going to have a barn burner. Josh St. Clair and Evan Bolyer's substantial lead is now down to zilch.
Not quite the $10,000 to win payout of the Boss Hog a couple weeks ago, but $3,000 to the winner tonight with a double payout. Silas Ripley back on the track, Kelly Moore as well. Let's get back at it. St. Clair and Beaulieu down the back chute. Beaulieu settles it down into second, ahead of Kevin Douglas. Jamie Wright and Jet Decker back at it again. Those two have gone wheel to wheel, tail to tail for most of this race. Frank Moulton coming into the picture. JT Thurlow still in there as well. Miller Buzzle spins on the backstretch. Nate Sennett checks him over once again. St. Clair and Beaulieu, it's been them for much of this race. Beaulieu's got to get away, but Douglas not leaving that opening this time on the low side, so Beaulieu's going to have to get it done on the high side. Douglas trying to keep it tight, but fades back a little bit. Their opening is there for Beaulieu. He settles it down in that spot just ahead of the 18. Jamie Wright to the 4th spot. Then the 15 of Frank Moulton. A good job in his Wiscasset Pro Stock debut. Thurlow trying to hold on to that 6th position as he races on the inside of Jet Decker in the 0-1. The pay window ready to open pretty soon. St. Clair again, he's got a good long run car, and you can see it as things start to stretch out. 10 laps to go this time by. Thurlow able to complete the pass out around Jet Decker. St. Clair solid in the lead. Beaulieu uncontested in second. Douglas trying to protect for what might have seemed like an unlikely podium finish for him. One of the favorites at the beginning of the race, but involved in a couple early cautions. And it looked like with the damage on that car, his day might have been done early. But always a wheelman in that 18 and bringing it to what appears to be a podium finish with 7 laps to go. "17 of the 26 cars still on the track, making laps. 5 to go. Josh St. Clair has led nearly the entire race, maybe about 4 or 5 laps. Will not have his name at the top of the sheet. But an otherwise dominating performance so far as we have 3 to go this time by. This time by 2 laps to go on the number 14 of Josh St. Clair. Evan Beaulieu looking to notch his best Wiscasset finish. Douglas in third, Wright in fourth. White Laundry is out, 1 lap to go. JT Thurlow looking to sneak in to grab a top 5. Drives around the outside of Frank Moulton. But up front, out of turn 4, checkered flag flies. Josh St. Clair takes the win. Trying to throw one down here just like his grandpa does. Let's send things down to Coastal Auto Parts Victory Lane. Nick Huff has got your winner.
Yes, Mr. St. Clair finally makes it around here after a stringent tire durometer check on the backstretch. Not messing around here with these big money extra lap races at Wiscasset Speedway. All right, folks, let them hear it. Josh St. Clair. Finally, he says, Josh, you got that halfway bonus at the Boss Hog, but then the second half was not in your choosing. But today, you brought your A game. You were not to be denied in the 100.
Yeah, we were good for 100 in the Boss Hog too. I made some adjustments that race, and then last week with Kevin, I made some adjustments, and he was better than me. I hate seeing them guys get tore up. I like winning, no matter how it comes, but I like racing for it too. Kevin is a tough cat in this class, so I'll take it any way I can get it. It sure feels good. Thing is only won once here, and I feel like I had a lot more wins in it this season. But I got a sponsor here tonight, Derek Larrabee over there. I got to say shout out to him and thank you for helping me year after year. And Dave's World, M&S Painting, Matt, my buddy here, helps me every week. Duvall's Auto, DNC Electric, Wentworth Family Grocery, Midcoast Maine, a whole bunch of people. Yeah, and I got to say thanks to these guys right here. They follow me everywhere I go, every time I race. So thank you, everyone, for coming out.
All right, Josh, $3,000 payday. How's it feel?
That feels good. That $10,000 was nice, though. But we'll take what we can get.
All right. Nice run. Josh St. Clair, he also leads the Pro Stock points by a pretty healthy margin going into the final race. But we'll move on to second place, Evan Beaulieu. Let him hear it, folks. His career best run at Wiscasset Speedway. Man, I mean, it just seemed like 1 and 2 just finished where they were. You gave him all you had, but it was just a second place car tonight, Evan. Heck of a run, though.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Really proud of the effort here. We came to the Boss Hog really with high expectations, and we didn't, for whatever reason during the feature, we just didn't go our way. But tonight, sort of did. Nick, second sucks. Still sucks, but still a really, really great performance by this whole Hancock Lumber team. I'm really, really proud of the effort that we showed today. Just didn't have quite enough for Josh there at the end. I thought throughout that long run, I thought that we'd saved enough, but had that final restart and I had one shot and I couldn't get to him.
Yeah, you guys really checked out. I mean, before those last couple of cautions, you had a half a track on Kevin in third, so nothing to be ashamed about. Heck of a run. You got Hancock Lumber on the ride. Anybody else you want to thank?
Oh, I got to thank my whole crew first and foremost. My dad, Derek, Robbie came and helped us out today. He's been with me for 4 or 5 years now and really turned our program around. Cody, Dave, who else am I forgetting? Lou. Lou's been an awesome help this year. My wife, Millie. I got a whole family here. This is pretty incredible. I'm just really, really happy with the effort. Can't thank all my sponsors too. I mean, can't thank them all enough. Hancock Lumber, Brett Davis Real Estate, Sunday Morning Farm, Nitro Designs, Buller Construction, ABG Heating and Cooling came on at the end of the season to help us out. New York Construction. Yeah, I got a lot of great partners, Nick. I'm really, really fortunate I get to do this.
All right, and we're fortunate to have you at Wiscasset Speedway. Thanks for coming out, Evan. Awesome run for second place in the Pro Stock 100. And then we've got Kevin Douglas. We had the big one over there, and I bet you didn't think you were going to wind up here. You came out of the pits just in the nick of time on a bunch of occasions, a half a track behind the field, and look where you ended up.
I'll tell you what, I got to thank everybody that helped out in the pit today. We just didn't quit. You know, I'm not going to lie, I wanted to park it. And Mike told me, shut up, just go in there and fix the thing. So I didn't think we'd be able to come back up through. Man, the boys patched it up. I got to thank all the people that helped because it was other crews. It wasn't even my crew. So I really got to thank them. We just didn't quit. And, I mean, obviously the car's all stove up, so it was off. But it just sucks. I mean, I got under Dan there, and I honestly didn't think he was going to come down. I thought I was far enough in where he was going to give that to me. And when he came down, all I could do was plow on my brakes, and it was too late. So I feel bad, you know. Obviously, I wouldn't want to spin him out. I tried to take gentleman's rule, but apparently there was more cars involved, so I couldn't do it. So so sorry about that for him. And then, you know, that's a chain of events, and then this happened, and just wasn't our night. You know, the car was good that first run, and I thought we really had something for him, but we just couldn't do it with it all stove up.
All right, well, like you said, never gave up. Got in the top 3. Heck of a run, Kevin. Who do you want to thank on the 18?
Man, Rich and Vanessa, Wiscasset Speedway. You guys do an awesome job here. All you fans that come here. This place is awesome, and it's the best track in the Northeast, in my opinion. And all my sponsors, TJ's Place, Island Dairy Treat, 1890 Primitives, Strictly Roofing, Jordan Lumber, Alaqua Lounge, Ray Haskell, John Sullivan's. I feel like I'm forgetting one, but maybe not. But, well, my wife for putting up with me for doing all this. But, and just thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. From the Pro Stock 100 Open Invitational at Wiscasset Speedway, Kevin Douglas, Evan Bullier, and Josh St. Clair finally gets it done.